Hey guys, my name's Dan, and today I'm going to be going over my case study, what had to do with Nike football, and that's not American football as we know it. It's going to be soccer, and what happened during the World Cup of 2010, and it had to do with Nike. So just to give a brief overview of the company, many of us know Nike or own some sort of apparel from Nike. It's a very big company. It's an American company which is famous for producing and marketing footwear, apparel, equipment, accessories, and providing services. The company's headquarters is situated near Beaverton, Oregon, and it produces a wide range of sports equipment from running shoes, sportswear, football, basketball, baseball, tennis, golf, pretty much any sport. Nike's got it. It's the leading shoe and sports apparel company in the world. And then just some history. It was founded by Bellarmine and Phil Knight in 1972. And in 1986, Nike broke the $1 billion annual sales revenue. And in 1988, as many of us know, the slogan, "Just Do It," that's when that was founded. And it actually was founded from a young fourth grade girl in Dallas, Texas. And it was in 1989 when Nike started to sell soccer equipment in Europe, which we'll be getting into. And later in 2002, Nike signed with Manchester United, which was Nike's first indoor soccer team. So in the World Cup, it's a tournament which is held every 4 years between 32 qualifying nations around the world. And this is when Nike was really trying to tap into the international market globally, because the World Cup, it's the whole world. And this was an opportunity for Nike to do that. So how they addressed this with integrated marketing communications, Nike was trying to establish themselves more globally, as I said, and specifically during this World Cup, which was in South Africa in 2010. So they held a 2-day media event introducing the new Nike Mercury Vapor Superfly 2, in addition with their Nike Football Plus, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and then the debut of their Nike's 100% recycled material jerseys, which were being worn by 8 different teams in the World Cup that year. So Nike Football Plus, it's a digitally driven service for Nike Football, which aims to connect the physical world of the Nike product and then along with the digital world of consumers. So consumers who would purchase the Superfly or other new Nike football boots were given an NF Nike Football Plus access code, which opened a library of content including training videos from elite clubs, national teams, with insights, drills, signature moves from like the world's top soccer players. And this enabled users to share their results, comments, and efforts on Facebook and Twitter, which created a community where people could interact. And the goals of the company in this case study, I didn't find any measurable goals necessarily, but one thing that kept sticking out to me was this is sustaining the connection it was building with their fans. So keeping that connection going and not letting them go over to an Adidas, which is a main competitor. The sport has such a big market around the globe, so Nike really wanted to touch on the market internationally. And timing was a big part of this campaign. So specifically with the commercial that they released, the timing was huge. The ad was called "Write the Future." This was their big commercial, and it included some of the world's best players such as Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney, Landon Donovan, Tim Howard, and there was other soccer players too. Those are the ones I know. I'm not a huge soccer guy, but I do know those guys. And then guest appearances were made by Roger Federer and Kobe Bryant. So this ad, it had athletes in it and had a mix of drama, humor, and action, communicating how one shot, one goal, and the glory of one start could change the course of life events. So really just hyping up Nike and what you can do in a pair of Nike shoes. So it really brought people to want to wear Nike. And in launching the Write the Future commercial, Nike wanted to launch it through its social communities first, like its Facebook page, and letting the fans of the Nike Football Plus, they were going to be the first ones to see it. So that was really important to them. So Nike worked with Facebook, along with Q, which is in China, Russia's network, Studia VZ, which is Germany, Navir, which is Korea, and Mixit, which is South Africa, to implement a unique role where the ad would only be viewable to fans of the Nike football. That's where they first wanted it to be released, which was part of the timing thing. So once that was released, 2 days later, it would finally be on television during soccer games specifically. It wasn't allowed to be on during the World Cup. However, they had times during other games and other matches, which was really popular. And the reason for the release on Facebook first was so that every kid would have already seen it who's a part of the Nike football fan page, and they would have already been able to share it with people that mattered to them. So it would already be out there, and then once they saw it on TV, then they could talk about it again. Overall, the reaction it got was very positive, so that was a good thing for Nike. With integrating marketing, communications, how it helped the company, as I talked about, I think Nike's really good at endorsing its like big time athletes with their company, and Cristiano Ronaldo is huge in that sport, so having him in that commercial was really successful for the company. And as a fan and just as a consumer, you see, if you love soccer and you see Ronaldo wearing Nikes and you're a fan of his, you're going to want to go get Nikes yourself. So that was used to help bring people and help them connect with the fans. So now when they think about buying a shoe, or a cleat, they can think about Ronaldo and the Nike brand, and they'll put those together. Another way this helped Nike was through their program called The Chance, which was a digitally based global search for talented young soccer players who had a chance to become professional. So they would register for The Chance at NikeFootball.com and were encouraged to use the digital tools supplied by Nike to build a custom campaign to support their hopes of becoming a professional soccer player one day. So examples of this digital action included inserting like their own image into a video, and it would resemble the commercial Right the Future, and it played out possible outcomes if they won this contest called The Chance, and creating a Facebook fan page to create awareness support for their quest to be selected. So this brought a lot of awareness to Nike, and specifically this Nike football platform. So Nike planned to select the top 100 candidates from around the world based on a combination of digital platform exposure. So this was big in these athletes trying to get their self out there. So get as many shares, likes, comments, all that. Sure, you guys have been involved in that before with other things. So it was about exposure, and then on-site scouting at events sponsored by Nike, which was important. And then the candidates would be invited to England in January 2011, compete to be one of 8 players chosen to spend a full year at the Nike Academy. So that would be pretty cool. This academy was set up in partnership with the Premier League to allow promising young soccer players to train with top-level coaches with the hopes of one day receiving a professional contract. Somebody called it like the American Idol meeting digital grassroots marketing, giving an opportunity to not random people, but you're pretty much your average people that wouldn't get this opportunity, which is why it's called The Chance. You generally wouldn't get such a great chance like this. So something I would have liked to see more of a reason for Nike to campaign a little bit harder was them proving to consumers why they're the best, why they're better than Adidas specifically, who is really successful in the soccer market. They've always been the official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup and just the leader in that market. So I would try to tell people exactly why Nike is better than Adidas because of X, Y, and Z, and try to persuade people who are purchasing Adidas equipment regularly in like their key market, and try to persuade them over to Nike. I think that was important because one of the weaknesses Nike lacks is their lack of international reputation. They don't have a great reputation. Therefore, it's important not only to sell their product, but to beat Adidas and explain why it's better, which is a main competitor in this market. So I think this could have been done this was just an idea in a commercial. So you had Ronaldo wearing Nikes, and then just like your average Joe playing soccer in Adidas, and then you can play with it from there and go with it from there. But generally, you'd rather beat Ronaldo playing soccer than your average guy. Another thing as far as using integrated marketing to reach their goal, as I mentioned, they didn't have a great reputation internationally. And at one point, Nike was known for like that sweatshop image in some people's heads. because of an instance where the company at one point was under major fire for abusive labor after outsourcing labor overseas where because it was cheaper. And they didn't have a good rep for that. So just the perception that Nike abused its workers that lasted for a while, and I'm not sure. I would assume it's still a thought internationally to some people, which could be another reason why they chose Adidas over Nike. So maybe putting together an ad or commercial of workers currently working for them, talking about not only Nike football, but talking about Nike as a whole, the company, and how great it is, and again why people should choose Nike over Adidas. Just they have a better perception of Nike overall and a better reputation. So yeah, that was my case study on Nike, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.